Hello Lucas, how are you, my friend?
Hi Roland, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you very much. I wanted to talk with you to present you to our customers because they know you naturally, but rather through your readings, and perhaps they would like to know more about yourself as a person. And the first question I wanted to ask you is, when did you start to get the interest in astrology, and how did it all begin?
So my first meeting with astrology was during my teenage years. Actually, there I met a very important person to me. It was an old man who was very wise, and he knew things I didn't know how it was possible to know. He knew a lot of things about me, about many situations, without even having to ask about it. And this was fascinating to me. As of that moment, I started to search to find, why and how he was doing that. And I began to look into many directions. I was a very curious child, very, open-minded, and I learned about mathematics, about physics, about psychology. I looked almost everywhere. And the only area that really looked to me important and capable of explaining such things was astrology, because it was giving a meaning, and it was explaining maybe why some people would live certain experiences, why other people would have such life path, and this was possible to understand through the use of astrology. But then came the time when I had to choose a professional career. So I was, somehow not forced, but pushed strongly to a traditional path. So I decided to engage into chemistry, following a scientific career for approximately 12 years. There I learned different fields like statistics and method development, and it gave me a background that I now can use in my astrology practice. So after this time, I still felt it was not my place, it was not really, something was missing. So I decided it was time to turn a passion for astrology into a daily work. And then I had my second very important encounter, and it was with you through the books that you wrote and I acquired, and wow, it was very, very interesting to me. And then time passing, we started to work together, and I had the chance to open the ABLAS school in Switzerland, which is of course international because of internet that allows us to keep a wide connection with the world.
And what is your philosophy as far as astrology is concerned? How do you see yourself as an astrologer? What can you bring to people, and to yourself?
Mm-hmm. So for me, astrology is about three main topics. First is curiosity. One needs to be very open-minded and try to always get knowledge everywhere, I would say, because we face many different questions, many different situations, and having, a bit of knowledge about different areas is always important. Of course, we need to have passion. Without being passionate about astrology, I think we do not do it on the long run. It is a demanding area, so we need passion to go where we want to go. And for that, it takes patience. We need to take our time. It doesn't, unlock within 1 or 2 days. It takes years. But eventually, with patience and work, we start to make it work efficiently. And there is another point I like to mention is positivity in the message we deliver to the customer. Looking at the bright side without negating the sometimes dark periods that we can live. And of course, motivation. To give this message, we need to give motivation to the customer. And that's a remark I often have in the feedbacks from customers, that they feel the positivity and the motivation through the tone of the voice or the way I explain what I'm looking in the chart. So, for the philosophy, in 2 words, we could say that astrology is a practical spirituality. Spirituality because it gives a meaning to what we are living, and it helps us to understand what we're going through, who we are, and how to choose the best version of ourselves. Practical because it gives concrete keys, to make decisions on the everyday level. So these 2 words for me would be practical spirituality.
Fine. And in your opinion, what would be the best qualities for a person to become an astrologer and to follow the course, which is quite something to do, really. It's not easy as such.
Yeah, for sure. For me, the most important is to be passionate about astrology. That's the key if you want to really get into it, because it's not just a study that you do 1 hour a day and then it's over. It is, let's say, closer to a life philosophy. It does not start when you enter the room or open the ephemeris and ends when you close the book. It's something that you see in life, you see outside, the weather is linked to that, the different people you can meet, there is always this interest there behind, and I think passion is the most important, definitely. Sure, I can share a few with you. That's always interesting when you do astrology every day. You have a lot of stories that comes, every individual has its own history, and it's always very interesting to have feedbacks from customers. And one day, a friend of mine came to me and he told me, "Hey, Guy, I would like to know if, there are some possibilities for me and my partner to have a baby. Because it's been a while that we are trying and at the moment we have had no success." And I said, "Sure, let's look at your charts." And I looked these charts and said to him, "It looks like your aspirations might be realized next year around the month of March." And we were in summer. So summer passes, autumn, winter, and I was very interested by this question and the idea of fertility. So I did some more research and I found out a possible approach. And so I sent a message to my friend in the beginning of February, and I said, looks like this time period of 2 days during the course of the month will be very, very important in terms of fertility. So don't miss the period. And the months went over and we met together during March. And I asked him, "So what about the situation? Was it successful?" And he told me, actually my girlfriend just had a pregnancy test and she's pregnant. So it was fascinating to see that. And a few weeks after, he called me back again and told me, "Hey, I've been to the doctor, and with routine controls, they give us the period of conception. And guess what? It was just in the 2 days that you gave me." So I was like, wow, fascinating. This, how these transits do work sometimes. It is of course not always 100%, and I think no technique at the moment, even in science, can be really 100%. But it shows that there is some mysterious thing at work that we can grasp somehow. I can share another one, which is in another field. A customer once contacted me for a birth chart reading. So I did the reading, sent him back to him, and he gave me the feedback. He was very happy with the reading. It was really accurate, so he told me I would like now to go on with a planetary transit reading. So did I, and I sent it back to him, and I had no feedback. I was a bit surprised. I was expecting, maybe due to the enthusiasm of the customer, to give me maybe a bit more feedback about that. But we don't always have the time to write detailed feedback, even though it is appreciated. Sometimes we just have no time. So I thought this was the case and just continued to do what I had to do. And like a bit less than 1 year after, I received an email from this customer. He told me, hey, I don't know if you remind about me, but last year I ordered you a birth chart. It was very accurate, very, interesting to me. But then I got your planetary transit reading, and actually I couldn't accept what you told me, because you were saying that I will have to change place of residency, and it's going to be a very, important and maybe sudden change. And I didn't want it to change. I just had moved to another country, actually. He went back to its original place, that was Burma. And so, due to the politic tension that just built there, he had to change. He felt the family was in danger. He himself was not feeling very secure. So he asked me to read the solar return. And so did I, and I checked the solar return and said, wow, it looks like it will be very quick. That's what I told him, and I indicated the period and one day after which things could be very quickly changing. And 3 days after this period that I indicated, customer wrote me and told me, yesterday we took the plane with my family. My company just organized this flight to bring us back into another country that was safer. So again, very astonishing results from this astrology tools. And I have a last one to share. That's about love, very important, and that's something we often see, the question of love and when will I find someone. And it was a lady who asked me, and her history in terms of love, was not very, very fulfilling. She had deceptive relationship and had very little long-term relationships, almost nothing. And she was quite despaired, about it. And I indicated her a period. It was November and December, on the year after which I was doing the reading. That looked very interesting, and if she would, be a bit active, maybe get out, and she could activate those energies. And time went on, and beginning of December, I received an email from this lady, and she told me, hello, it's already December, it's half of the period you indicated, and at the moment I met no one. Problem is, we are all confined. It's the pandemic, everything is closed. Will it come or not? I replied I would have a deeper look into her chart and reply in the course of the week after. And I had no time to do that, because a few days after she wrote me a message. She met someone. It was just like completely unexpected, and they went very quickly together. And she told me, in case this wouldn't work, I'll write you to see what we can do, And at the moment, I have no other news from this person, so I'm very happy for her that looks like it worked.
Now, how do you see yourself like in a few years' time or more time, in 30 years' time, for example? How do you picture that progress of yours in astrology and in ABLAS as well?
So what I would love to do is really continue to help ABLAS grow and go on. Because actually, ABLAS School is the work of a life, the work that you did and all that you've done. So since I created and I had this chance to create ABLAS Switzerland, this is my mission now, to make this go on and continue. So the three different axes of ABLAS at the moment are, first one, the tuition, so engaging into teaching people, so astrology enthusiasts that can really learn and deepen their understanding, as well as people who would like to become professional astrologers. In the different students that I've had and with whom we went along, one has now opened its own practice, his own practice, so it's always very good to see that these teachings do really help people to get where they want to go, I would say, to go where they want to go. So it's always very interesting. The other aspect is, of course, consultation work. We learn so much in connection to the reality of the people with whom we work that I want to continue that. Developing the consultation will always be very important to me, and I really like that. And third branch is webinars, so online seminars. We've begun with you this year to host seminars online. And this is a very good approach to give some astrological insights that we do not always have the time to share in teachings nor in consultation, because we need to focus to what the person needs and what is relevant for the person. So with this online webinars, we have the possibility to approach astrology in a different way and share it with many people. So definitely we will go on with that as well. And other projects are ongoing, but they are not still ready, so I'll communicate about them when they will be mature and ripe to be released.
Very well. Thank you very much, and wish you all the very best. And I'll be around for a while yet, And so we will organize some webinars in 2022, and they will be advertised on the website, of course. So anyone interested can participate in these webinars. They're very cheap to participate in, and they can be very useful to motivate people to become an astrologer, or to progress in this science, or art rather. So thank you very much, Lucas. All the very best. Bye for now.
Thank you. Goodbye.